Hi guys, welcome to the Going Tiny project. Hanging out outside my house on a beautiful early March day. It's been pretty windy, so hopefully you can hear me. But I'm building an awning for the tiny house door. What happens is, because it's no real overhang, as soon as it rains or snows, open the door, you have a mini flood coming in your front door. So I'm using some extra galvanized corrugated metal siding or roofing. Cut it in half, and it's going to be 48 inches wide, 4 feet basically. That's just because those are just over 2 feet wide. Not that I planned for, it's just what made sense. And then the sheet cut in half lengthwise is just over 2.5 feet each panel. So it's going to barely hang off this edge, about 2 inches on either side, except the upslope edge, the edge hanging against the house, has 4 inches, so it has room to hinge down. And what I'm going to do is, I'll show you in another video, I'm going to put eye bolts out through the wall into studs, and they're just going to hang there. And then come moving time, I can clip it off the side of the house and no big deal. So the only thing left is to mount the roof to this, but I also need to figure out my angle, and I still have some studs. These are cedar studs, just because it's outside and I thought it would look pretty matching the cedar siding. I need to mount a leg that comes back into the house. So that way it's kind of a triangle of mounting points, so it's not just hanging on 2 bolts. And then I think that'll do great just to give us a dry pad. It should. It's kind of cool. I recycled this pallet from work. It was a specialty pallet, and so it was pre-done really close together. Normally, it's got the big gaps, and I just painted it with some brown paint that was cheap in the previously open section of Lowe's. And so the roof will barely cover this when it's done. Not barely, it'll cover this when it's done. So it should look symmetrically like it makes sense. So anyways, I did these cross beams. It probably doesn't need it. It's probably overbuilt, but it was kind of cosmetic. So when you're looking at the underside, and then I overlapped them. They aren't the best. I really, that's my downfall as a builder. I don't have the patience for detail. So it could have been done a lot prettier, but I don't really care. So that's what it is. And I'll put the roof on and figure out the legs coming back to the house, and then I'll show you a video of when I'm ready to mount it up there with the bolts hanging out the ceiling, or not the ceiling, out the wall. I've now got it mounted, and plans are constantly evolving. But what I did is I have 2 J-hooks that go through the wall into the 2x4 studs. And they're on bolt rods, so you can adjust them theoretically. I can suck it in, but it's actually pretty good right there. And then I actually did the angle wrong. This cross beam to transfer the load back to the house, it's just resting there. So really the only securing points are those 2. I have bolts. I was thinking about bolting through and securing it more to transfer more load down, which I think I will, especially before we get snow next year. And now it's early spring, so I'm not worried about it now. But yeah, I mean, this is just floating there. But I did the angle kind of wrong. I thought it would line up to be parallel, or the same angle coming up as coming down. But I did the math wrong, and it's basically horizontal, which is totally fine. And then that angle, totally covers the platform I'm standing on. So, pretty easy. And when I go to move the tiny house, I can take it off. Thanks for following along. I appreciate all the likes, shares, and subscribes. It really helps me out. Thanks.